Hi guys, I am out on a walk with the kids. Hopefully you can see that. It's really bright, so I can't really see my screen very well. So, Sky is on a prong and the e-collar, and Abe is on a martingale and the e-collar. Abe normally is walked off leash at heel, but when he is on leash, normally it's a slip lead. Because he doesn't need the leash, like, at all. He's completely under voice control. He doesn't need the leash. But this time, I'm walking them on their new leashes that I just got from Bridgeport Canine Equipment with their new nameplates from haltertags.com. Not sponsored, just awesome products. So I wanted to use those leashes. So Abe's on a martingale, just a basic nylon martingale. So, Abe is not prong collar trained. I've never used a prong on him. Why? Whereas with client dogs and with Sky, the first collar I put on them when I go to train them is a prong. So why? Why is that different for Abe? My own personal dog, my heart dog, essentially. So why is that different? So, Abe has always been very sensitive to pressure, and he came to me in a lot of ways as a blank slate when it came to leash skills. So when he was in the shelter, he grew up in a shelter, he was on a slip lead to be taken out to potty, and then immediately went back to his kennel because he was terrified. So he was never really on a leash a whole lot. They did put him through the prison program to learn some things like sit down, place, whatever. But not a whole lot of leash work done with him. So he was kind of a blank slate in that regard. Combine that with the fact that he is really sensitive to pressure, he never needed the prong. So a prong collar is not painful, it's not uncomfortable to wear, it's not really all that uncomfortable unless you're like yanking on it or giving a pop correction. But it's more pressure, or more localized pressure than like a slip lead or a flat buckle collar. And the prong collars work because you're interacting with the dog in a different way, more of a pressure and release sort of way, rather than just a continuous pulling sort of way. But Abe never interacted with a collar in a pulling way. It was always just there's a car coming up. It was always just a very neutral, no pressure way. So it was very nice to teach him to walk on a leash because he didn't have any bad habits of pulling that I needed to break. Alright, let me turn around here. Come on, guys. So, Abe has never worn a prong. I think I put one on him like once, but I've never needed to use a prong with him. Whereas Sky came to me with a very bad habit of pulling. And a lot of the client dogs that I work with already have a very ingrained habit of pulling on the leash. And the prong collar helps break up that habit by introducing a new way to interact with your dog on the leash. And that is with pull or pressure and release, rather than just pulling. So, I'll let you see the doggos. See, the leashes are short. These are actually 3-foot leads. I had them made specifically this length for a reason, and the reason should be pretty obvious because the way that I hold the leashes means that there's extra slack hanging down next to them, and I don't like a bunch of extra slack. So I have these 3-foot traffic leads made for me so that I can do this without a bunch of slack smacking the dog on the side, smacking me in the leg. Alright, I'm walking in the wind now, so I'm going to call it quits. I'm sure this audio is pretty bad. So, questions, let me know.